Ooh, you gotta love the old LEGO games, first class masterpieces. From LEGO Batman to LEGO Indiana Jones to LEGO Star Wars, you can't get better than that. The amazing sound effects when you pick up them beautiful shiny studs and punching your way through enemies in LEGO Batman, the sound design is just bobo. Talking about sound design, the disco music is on a whole nother level. Right, I'm getting a bit lost in nostalgia here. Today, we will be versing the old LEGO games to the new LEGO games. Now, old versus new. In LEGO game terms, this is very, very difficult because the old LEGO games are so solid, whereas the new ones are very good in terms of hub worlds. It's a very, very difficult versus, but only one can win. Right, anyway, let's cue the music. So, hello there guys, I'm Rugged Eagle and I do lots of LEGO content on my channel, so if you do like what you see, feel free to subscribe, it is up to you, and if you do go to enjoy, make sure you go drop a like to show some support. Anyway, let's crack on. So, let's just quickly go over some ground rules before we dive into the verses. So, in terms of old LEGO games, I will be classing the main ones with Mumbles as old LEGO games, well pretty much before 2012 when LEGO Batman 2 hit. So all the LEGO games with Mumbles are in the old LEGO game category. So any LEGO game releasing after 2012 will go into the new LEGO game category. However, LEGO Batman 2 and Lord of the Rings I'm gonna put in the middle. You'll understand why later. Now the final point before we dive in, each category will be given a point to either the old LEGO games or the new LEGO games. Whichever one comes out with the most points at the end is the winner. Let's get into it. So our first category is storytelling, otherwise known as voice lines or mumbles. Now this is a very controversial one because at the end of the day it comes down to personal preference. Do you either prefer voice lines or mumbles?
Oh, come on!
However, I do think one has the edge. So voice lines are wicked. It's super cool to see your favourite IP or franchise in a LEGO game and they're actually speaking from the movie and just basically recreating the movie in a LEGO form. And over the years, I do feel the voice lines just keep getting better and better. For example, in DC Supervillains, they actually have Mark Hamill voicing the Joker. He's the Joker in the animated series and also from the Arkham games. So it's wicked to see that.
First one to find the rookie gets a cookie.
Now, it's really strange because the voice lines are fantastic in LEGO games that tell their own unique story. For example, LEGO Batman 2 and LEGO DC Supervillains. It's their own unique story. However, when they pull them out the movie, they can feel a little bit off, but it is just personal preference. However, I think the edge goes to the mumbles. However though, this could change with the Skywalker Saga because I really want to see how they do the voice lines in the Skywalker Saga, but nevertheless, 1 point goes to old LEGO games. For our next category is level design. Now this is a super hard one because the old levels in the old LEGO games are fantastic except from them goddamn awful vehicle missions where you have to tow everything or find torpedoes. God, they're so annoying. Yeah, some weren't that bad, but yeah, they're not the greatest, especially looking back now. To be fair, it's mad to see how the vehicle missions have actually evolved over time. Take this vehicle mission from LEGO Batman 1 and compare it to LEGO Incredibles. It's just a massive difference. So having to replay the older LEGO games and the newer LEGO games, I do feel the older LEGO games are a little bit more difficult in terms of level design, and they focus more on puzzles, especially in LEGO Indiana Jones. Whereas over time, the newer LEGO games have slowly focused more upon combat, especially in Force Awakens. You can actually aim down sights, and in the Skywalker Saga you will be aiming down sights, and you can see how the combat has gradually improved from each LEGO game. However, I can contradict this here because I do feel like LEGO Batman 1 and LEGO Indiana Jones has some of the best combat in a LEGO game because the sound design just makes it great, and where you can grip them by the neck and just throw them onto the floor. Yeah, the combat in them LEGO games is great. Now, the newer LEGO games have some fantastic levels, such as LEGO Incredibles. They are some great levels in that game. They're so fun, especially with the soundtrack blasting, but you get that in every single LEGO game, depending on the IP. And DC Supervillains has some very strong levels, but it also has some lackluster ones too. Now over time, playing through every single LEGO game, I have noticed the newer ones are always trying to improve the level design and add some unique variety to the levels. For example, take LEGO Hobbit. There's a level where you're going down in a barrel down a stream, and Legolas can jump from each of the dwarfs' heads while shooting arrows, and you can swing axes through a barrel. It's a super fun level. There's also another level where you're doing parkour through Lake Town chasing down an orc. It's just great level design, and they're always improving it with each installment. Now this is where it gets super tough, because the old LEGO games, take LEGO Batman for example, it's always exciting to unlock a new suit, and it always changes up the puzzles. Mind you, you can say that for the new LEGO Batman games such as LEGO Batman 3, there is so many outfits for Batman and the Joker and Robin, there's so many. For example, in the Complete Saga, the level negotiations, every single person knows that level from inside and out. It's like you designed it. Alright, so anyway, it's time to make the decision. Only one can win the point. So for this category, I'm going to give the point to the newer LEGO games, because I do feel like they are always trying to improve it. And just take the Skywalker Saga for example, from the gameplay trailer, the levels look fantastic, whereas some newer LEGO games like The Force Awakens, the levels are a little bit bad and they're drawn out. However, old LEGO games, the levels are still fantastic. This is a very difficult one. Now for our next category is replayability. Now for this category, I think one is the clear winner, and I think I'm just going to have to give the point to the older LEGO games. Let me explain why. So I'm going to let nostalgia affect this one, because at the end of the day, it's replayability, and something just draws me back to the classic LEGO games, like LEGO Pirates of the Caribbean. The soundtrack in the background, the unique levels, the gameplay, it's just a blast to play through, and I feel like the older LEGO games take less time to complete, because the new ones, the hub worlds are massive, there's like 250 odd characters to unlock, whereas in the older LEGO games, it's more simplistic, and you're just having a blast playing through it. So I do feel over time you will replay the older LEGO games like LEGO Star Wars The Clone Wars 3, LEGO Pirates of the Caribbean, Indiana Jones, all them great LEGO games. I have played them quite a few times. I want to say at least each one about 5 times now. I've not 100%ed it 5 times, I've just played through the main story and unlocked the characters about that many times. So yeah, the point goes to older LEGO games for replayability. Our next category is hub worlds. Now, hub worlds in LEGO games began all the way back with LEGO Star Wars the video game in Dexter's Diner and the Complete Saga with the small little cantina. I mean, put it this way, the Skywalker Saga, the cantina will be one room on one single planet. However though, I do love the old LEGO game hub worlds, like the Batcave in LEGO Batman 1. I know that inside and out, and it's so nostalgic, especially punching Alfred to his death about 55 times. However many times you did it, you know you killed Alfred. And same goes for the Complete Saga. How many times did you start a bar fight as a kid in the cantina? Yeah, it's great. It still is fantastic to this day. I think nostalgia does play quite a bit in it, but I do think the hub worlds back in the old LEGO games were solid for the time. It's all it needed to be. It didn't need to be some massive city. It was fine how it was. For example, take LEGO Harry Potter. This released in 2010, and the hub world in Harry Potter is great. You get to explore Hogwarts, going round to each of your lessons and playing through the levels in Hogwarts. Yeah, LEGO Harry Potter does have a very solid one as an old LEGO game. Now, LEGO Batman 2 introduced the first big open world city in a LEGO game, and they captured Gotham City extremely well. It was dark, moody. I think they mainly captured it from Tim Burton's Batman. However, compare that to the new LEGO games, especially DC Supervillains. Now, Gotham in DC Supervillains is fantastic. Look at the neon lighting and the graphics. Obviously, they have improved, and you can actually glide around as Batman like the Arkham games. I mean, come on. And just for another comparison, take LEGO Hobbit. The hub world in Hobbit is Middle Earth, and exploring Middle Earth is such a blessing. It's great how they captured it, and when you're playing through the story, you're kind of going on like a unexpected journey because you have to work your way through the hub world to start the next mission, and it's just cool. But saying that, Lego Movie the video game I didn't think had a great hub world, and this is a more of a newer recent Lego game releasing in 2014, and I didn't think the open world were that great in Lego Movie the video game. So for the category of hub worlds, I'm definitely going to give the point to the newer Lego games. They just keep getting better and better, and the Skywalker Saga is going to have 20 plus planets. I mean, come on, I can't wait to see that. On to our next category is characters. So let me just say, every Lego game they keep adding more and more characters. I remember when Lego Batman 2 came out and the character roster, looking back at it, it's tiny, but it was wicked to have Superman back in the day and Green Lantern in a Lego Batman game, and it's cool to see how the roster has improved over time and how more characters are always being added to the roster. So in the older Lego games, some of the characters were a little bit bog standard. I mean, take Lego Indiana Jones for example. Many of the characters in that were pretty bog standard, like, oh my god, I think the best character is Lego Indiana Jones. However, saying that, in the complete saga, it was amazing to unlock Darth Maul with his double-bladed lightsaber back as a kid. Oh, you knew you got somewhere in life when you got Darth Maul or Palpatine or Dooku using Force Lightning. You were going places. And this is same for Pirates of the Caribbean, unlocking Davy Jones. Oh, you knew. But for the newer Lego games, just take Lego Marvel. Lego Marvel has some of the best character rosters in a Lego game. Lego Marvel 1, the character roster with the X-Men and all the Marvel characters, and Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. I mean, they went all out with Marvel Superheroes 2. There's so many comic characters. There's like Hitmonkey in there and all that from the Marvel comics, and you can even read up about them. And take Lego Incredibles as an example. You can unlock Pixar characters in Lego Incredibles such as Wall-E and Woody from Toy Story. So I think you and me both know where the point is going on this one, and it obviously goes to the newer Lego games. I mean, the character roster, take Lego Marvel as an example, the roster is just phenomenal. And same for DC Supervillains, they have a wickedly strong roster too. And as time's gone on, the character rosters are always expanding, and you'll probably think that because there's so many characters, a lot of them are lackluster. However, take DC Supervillains Captain Cold as an example. As he traverses the map, he like shoots ice on the floor, and he's got some cool finishing moves, and they're always trying to make them more unique and stand out within the big roster. For our next category is co-op. Now, I feel co-op was the main thing that shaped Lego games. They started off as a fun co-op game, the complete saga, playing with your friends on couch co-op. Yeah, it's a blast. And the older Lego games mainly focused on the co-op play because a lot of the puzzles require two people and your friend to do something else to get you across, like Lego Batman. I think the second level is pretty heavily co-op based. But in the newer Lego games, I do feel the co-op aspect has slowly drifted away with each new installment. Obviously, it's still there, you have to switch to different characters to do different puzzles, but I do feel the co-op isn't as prominent. And talking of co-op, back in the day, some Lego games actually had online multiplayer. I believe the Complete Saga had online multiplayer along with Lego Harry Potter's Years 1 to 4 and Lego Indiana Jones 2. So for this one, I'm gonna give the point to the old Lego games. So for the last category, they are now on even grounds. The next point will decide the winner between the new and the old Lego games. So with me determine who wins the points on each category, the next category I am leaving it down to the community. For the next category, it's the community vote. So I went and put a poll up on my channel, which do people prefer, the new or the old Lego games, and here are the results. Now I have to say they are very neck and neck, and I was watching the poll throughout the day and it just kept changing all the time, but here are the final results. So in first place is the old Lego games, which got 63% of the results as of me recording. If you want, you can go onto my community tab and put a vote in and try and change it if you want, but the old Lego games are the winner here. But yeah, it is pretty even grounds. Both Lego games are fantastic. The new ones are great. If you have not played the newer Lego games, I definitely recommend picking up DC Supervillains and some of the brand new ones, because I have to say they surprise me and they're pretty good fun. So there we go, the winner of today's old vs new goes to the older Lego games. But please let me know down in the comments, what is your all-time favourite Lego game? However, all of this could change with the Skywalker Saga, which looks absolutely phenomenal, and it is coming out this year, hopefully. But nevertheless, I do lots of Skywalker Saga content on my channel, so if you do want to learn about that game, definitely check out some of my other videos. And if you want to see me ranking every single LEGO game, there will be an end screen at the end of the video. But anyway, I just want to thank you for watching today's video, and if you do like my content, feel free to subscribe, and make sure you go drop a like if you did go to enjoy. But anyway, I will see you all in a bit. Adios.